River of Life family, we are in the midst of the Christmas season, and I really hope that each of you are able to enjoy and to focus in on the true significance of this time. It is one of the most important celebrations in the Christian calendar, and our prayer is that you really are able to enjoy the meaning of this season. And we do have our Christmas services coming up. On Sunday, we have two services, 9 and 10:30. And I'm very excited about this service. We're going to actually be looking at the Christmas story from the first couple of chapters of Luke. And Luke uses 4 different stories to kind of frame the gospel. And within each of those, there's a hymn of praise. I like to think of them as the very first Christmas songs. And so we're going to kind of look at those this Sunday. And, as we kind of center our focus on the true significance of this time. We also have a Christmas Eve service that'll be from 5 to 6 p.m. There'll be a candlelight service, 1 hour. And I hope you're able to either join us in person or join us online for these services. They will be live streamed. And then I'm excited once we get through the Christmas season, 2020 is just around the corner. And, the Lord's been kind of speaking to us about some things for this upcoming year. On the 27th, I'll share a little bit about that. And then starting on January 3rd, we have our 3-week of prayer and fasting. And if there is ever a time to participate in our 3-week of prayer and fasting, this would be the year. I hope each and every single one of you will join us. We really feel like the Lord is speaking to us about January being a time of reset, kind of a reboot, if you will, in many ways. And so I got a lot of things I want to be able to share with you during that time. I definitely want to share with you some teaching on the foundational practices that Christians have participated throughout the ages. I'm going to start with feasting and fasting, 2 meaningful practices related to the storyline of Scripture and to the gospel. And then I got some other things I want to share with you during that time. So I'm looking forward to the things that God is going to be doing in the next year and the years beyond. I do just want to again, kind of briefly talk about COVID. We are in another period of increased spread, the so-called second wave. And, I realize there is a lot of COVID fatigue after 9 months. I know we are just tired of the whole COVID thing. Lord Jesus, please bring it to an end soon. But despite the fatigue, we do need to be strong and we do need to be diligent. And, I really want to be clear here. We love in-person gatherings and want to continue holding them. We also want everyone to be healthy and to avoid contracting COVID. And obviously it is impossible to guarantee that nobody will contract COVID in one of our gatherings. And that just means 2 things, two important things. Number 1, obviously only come to our gatherings if you feel comfortable taking that risk. Church gatherings with singings and other interactions do carry some risk. We are trying to make our gatherings safe, but there is no way to eliminate all risk. And as much as we want everybody with us in person, there is no pressure or expectation for you to participate in person gatherings. Everyone is not in the same risk category and everyone does not have the same risk tolerance. And we just respect your right and your ability to make those decisions for yourself and for your family. We do continue to live stream and record our services so you can join us from home online live with us, or you can watch the recording at a later time. And again, just want to continue to reiterate that those of you who are joining us from home in those ways, you are every bit as an important part of this church family as those who come in person. The second thing is, I really want to ask everyone who comes to our gatherings to consider how you can help reduce the likelihood, of others getting infected. And listen, the most important thing that you can do, that we all can do, is to not participate in any gatherings if you are sick or not feeling well in any way. Listen, this is not the time to dismiss even minor symptoms. This is not the time to say, it's just a cold or whatever. No, if you're not feeling well in any way whatsoever, if you have even the slightest indication that you may be less than 100% well, please avoid contact with others until you are absolutely sure that you are well and you're not carrying anything contagious. If you've been in close contact or close direct contact with someone who has been diagnosed or tested positive for COVID, then listen, just out of an abundance of caution, it would be good for you to again avoid our gatherings until you're sure that you yourself have not been infected in any way. And then when you do come to our gatherings, exercise a little extra caution. Maybe use a little hand sanitizer, get a little squirt when you come in the door, and keep a little extra distance. Physical distance between people. Listen, you can still be friendly and have conversation and engage with people without having to get in super close with them. When you are close to someone, like praying for someone, wearing a mask is really advised. I don't wear a mask while preaching. I got lots of distance, but after I preach, if I am going to pray for someone, I do put a mask on. I want to remind you to be considerate of those who want to be in our gatherings but don't want to do things like shake hands or hug or get too close. So just please don't do those things unless you have somebody's explicit permission and consent to do that. And listen, if there was ever a time to do some extra things to boost or bolster your health, it would be now. One thing that has clearly been established about COVID is that being in good health is one of the most important determinants of your body's ability to recover if you do get it. And I know everybody's kind of focused on precautions, but how about being proactive? And listen, even if you do have some health conditions that are beyond your control, there are things that you can do to improve your health, boost your immune system, things like eating a healthy diet, losing excess weight, getting some exercise every single day, getting outside on a regular basis. It's actually very good for your health. Maybe take a few supplements. For those of us who live in New England, in the winter, it's hard to get like vitamin D naturally through the sun, so maybe taking a vitamin D supplement, vitamin C is known to help with your immune system. So there's lots of things you can do to improve your health, and I would encourage you to do that. The last thing I really want to say, and I really want to kind of emphasize this, is that as all-consuming as COVID seems to be right now, it is not necessarily the most important thing happening in the world today. And I'm not trying to minimize the seriousness of this pandemic, and I certainly don't want to dismiss the pain of those who have lost a loved one to this horrible virus. But I assure you that there are many other equally or more important things happening, and some of those things are actually very good things. And with all the challenges we're facing, it would be easy to miss how God is working in some really good ways during this time. Listen, even as a church family, we have seen several salvations during this time. We've had many guests and visitors attending. We've added new members almost every month. I'm telling you, many people are experiencing an awakening in their hearts right now. They're going through a healing season in their lives. The young adult community continues to thrive and grow, and God's adding to their numbers almost monthly. And then of course there's also other bad things happening besides COVID. We've got members in our church and members in our community who are experiencing very difficult hardships or even tragedies. And honestly, we cannot become so consumed with avoiding COVID that we are unavailable to celebrate and support the good things that God is doing, or to comfort and come alongside those who are suffering in this hour. And so we should not put our mission on hold or on pause because of COVID. If anything, now's the time to, step it up. We have a kingdom that cannot be shaken. It's an eternal kingdom, and now more than ever is the time to cast the nets and gather those who would respond to the gospel in faith. And I'm not trying to suggest that we be reckless or indifferent to the pandemic. I'm just exhorting you not to let this distract you or prevent you from following the Lamb wherever He would lead you in this season. We are a community, we are a family, and everyone can help and contribute to the great mission in some way. We are so grateful for every act of service, for every act of love and kindness, for every phone call to check in on someone, for every text message that you send to encourage someone else, for every prayer offered on behalf of the saints, and for those who donate financially to support the work that we're doing. And listen, you all are amazing. And I say this from it was sincerity from the bottom of my heart. The staff here at River of Life is so thankful and so amazed at the grace of God that gets expressed and demonstrated in your lives and in the many things and the many actions that you take. And so I really want to commend you for your faith. I want to commend you for your love, and in the days to come, I want to urge you to excel at these things even more. So I hope you will be able to join us this Christmas season in one way, whether from home, live stream, watching the recordings, or whether it's in person. And I hope you will get ready for January. I do believe there's a reset coming, there is a reboot that is coming, and now is the time. Let me put it this way, now is not the time to just live life doing many of the ordinary things and things that we've been doing during these strange times. Now is the time to really seek the Lord and to press in. He is about to move, and it is moving in some very special ways. God bless you guys. Merry Christmas. We love you dearly.